Welcome back to Dubbzi Bricks for another Gotham City update. Happy New Year to everybody. I hope you've had a good Christmas and the new year is a kind one to you all. Back in December, I went back to the UK for Christmas to visit family and friends. It was really nice catching up with everybody. But the other good thing with going back to UK is I'm able to pick up Lego sets, which I've purchased online over the course of the previous few months. Purchasing Lego sets from the UK is a lot easier over there than it is in Ireland. There are a lot more bargains to be snapped up on places like Vinted and eBay, etc. Now, all of these sets here have got sealed bags. Quite a few of them, the box had been opened or really badly conditioned, which means the price comes down, but you are getting, in effect, brand new Lego. Now, people have been asking me, what minifigures will I be using for the Gotham City mock? And these are just a few of the ones that we'll be using to start with. And the first set we have here is the Riddler Racer, and of course got a really cool version of the Riddler there, as well as Magpie, Calendar Man and Kite Man, and yet another Batman minifigure there. Now, this vehicle itself I won't be using in the mock. Looking at that picture there, to me it looks like we're talking about 10 studs wide on that, and I'm trying to keep my vehicles down to 6 studs so it doesn't make the roads look too small. Yeah, really looking forward to getting that minifigure added to the city. The next setup we have is this one just here, set number 76056, which is Batman Rescue from Ra's al Ghul, and of course got Ra's and Talia al Ghul there, and a Robin, and a really cool looking Desert Batman. And this set, again, I think some really cool looking pieces in here. These step parts, I can't wait to try and work out where I'm going to put those in the city and see if I can get some more, because I do really like the look of that piece and it'd be good to use those pieces. Next one up we have is the Penguin Arctic Roller. And again, I love this vehicle. I think it looks so cool, especially the little penguin there on the bonnet of the car. But again, this vehicle way too big for my Gotham City, so I am going to try and build my own version of it and just scale it down a little bit if I can. The penguin minifigure there, I do believe that's the same as the one I already own, which was on a Lego Batman book. But it's always good to have more than one of each of the figures. I would like to have multiple stories going on around the city using each of the characters, so it's always good then to have more than that. Now, this set here, the Batwing, I got this as I really wanted to build the Batwing itself. Again, way too big to put in the city, but it'd be nice to have it on a shelf in the Lego room somewhere. And with this one, we've got Harley Quinn. Yeah, really looking forward to building that set. Next up, we have the Catwoman Cat Cycle Chase, where we've got Batgirl, Catwoman and Robin. I'm not a massive fan of this Robin figure, to be honest. I just think he looks a little bit too goofy for my liking, so I probably will scrap him altogether out of Gotham City. Again, I do feel that when Lego make bikes, etc., they're just a little bit too big, and I feel like the minifigures, when they're actually sat on the bike, they do just look a little bit awkward. So I'm going to try and do my own versions using the pre-molded motorbike pieces and then just do the decorations around it myself, and hopefully we'll come up with some cool designs on that. Now, with the final one here, we have the Batmobile, and again, this is obviously way too big to go in Gotham, but again, another one that I'll be putting on the display on a shelf somewhere with the rest of my Lego Batman sets. And with this one, we got the Kabuki twins, Man-Bat, and another Batman and Robin. Now, the good thing is with all of these sets I've bought, because of the boxes being either damaged or open, I've got all of them for lower than the recommended retail price. Now, this set here, the Batman Riddler Robbery, I got this several years ago in a supermarket, and it was ridiculously cheap. It was reduced, I think it was about half the retail price. And again, we've got another Riddler figure there. So again, as I mentioned before, good to have multiple minifigures of each of them on there. A more recent set that I already owned was the Batman and Joker chase. With the Joker, there are going to be all the different variants of it, from the 60s all the way up to the Heath Ledger Joker. And I think the Heath Ledger one is probably my favourite. And I want to try and get a couple more of them if I can. There's just so many little stories I like to tell from the Dark Knight films. So I will need to get some more of them. Another set I already owned was the Mr. Freeze Ice Attack. And I did look at all of the versions of Mr. Freeze that have been released, and this was one that I liked the most. So I was really pleased to pick this set up. And again, there's some really useful parts in there, like the security guard surrounded by the ice. I think that looks really cool. And just these little bits at the back, I'm sure I can make good use for them somewhere else within Gotham City. Next up, we have Two-Face Double Demolition, and I love this set purely for the Two-Face figure there. I think Harvey Dent, he does look really cool there, so glad I've got that. I know they are bringing out another one with the Tumbler set, which I'll definitely buy just purely for that minifigure. But yeah, do like having this one. This build here, it's not one I particularly want on my shelf, nor the bike. I'm not that keen on that either, so I will just part this set out. But again, I purchased this set so long ago, it was a ridiculously cheap price. I'm glad I got it when I did. And I think the body armour on the GCPD officers is really cool as well. Now, the final set I have here, this is my favourite set out of the entire Batman movie range, and it is the Scuttler. I saw this at BrickCon last year, 2024, and I was so impressed by how it looked. It's just such a fun build, and I can't wait to actually build it. And again, you've got some really cool figures in there. Barbara Gordon with her GCPD vest on, I think it looks really good. And of course, we've got Poison Ivy, and Poison Ivy is probably one of the characters I'm most excited about doing some storytelling with, as I think you can get so much colour added into the darkness of Gotham City without it looking out of place. So yeah, can't wait to start adding her to Gotham City. I did also get the Shadowbox as well. Paid just a little bit over the recommended retail price for that one. Was trying to get it from lego.com about 3 months before it retired, and it was not available anywhere, and they did say we're not making any more, which is a great shame that they weren't continuing up to its retirement date. But yeah, I'm glad I did get that into the collection before that rockets up in price, which I'm sure it will do. Now, along with all of these Lego sets I've been able to get, there has been a Lego haul come in. So let's just show you what's in that. And here is the order that we had coming from lego.com. These are pieces for both my Tantive Mock and Gotham City. We've got the inverted grey slopes here. They're for the raised platform area. The dark tan pieces, they are for the Flatiron-esque building and future builds. I want to have a few spares. We've got the brown cylinders here. That's for the roller coaster piece. The purple pieces and the green pieces, they are for either the start of a Joker vehicle, but mainly for the Joker Funhouse as well. So we're going to be able to get a lot of work done on the Joker Funhouse. I'm so excited to do so. Yeah, it's nice to finally get this order. And it didn't take them too long considering it was the time of the year. And there's also some white ingots in there, so I can do a little bit more work on my Tantive corridors as well. But anyway, let's clear the table off here. Let's bring over the Joker Funhouse and let's get some work started on that. And we're going to be starting off by working on this back section of the building here. Now, at the moment, if I were to open these sections, it would knock into the wooden walkway that's at the back there if there was a barrier up. So I just want to remove the bottom brick or so on here, remove it from there, add it underneath these tiles, that'll lift it up, and then that's going to give a little bit of clearance. Once I've done that, I'm going to replace these arches on here, just swap those over to the 6x2 arches, and then also put in the purple and green bricks that are going behind it. So let's make those changes first of all and see how it comes out. And there are the doors all revised, a brick shorter now going down, the brick's been put at the bottom there, and we've got the stripes in and the arches changed over. And I'm really liking how this is looking. There's a nice pop of colour there without it being too bright. So I think that is definitely going to be how I want this to look. I might write "ha ha" on the wall here somehow, just in the standard red colour. I think that'll be the final pop of colour and detail that this needs, just to take away from all of the dark bluish grey that's on there. Now, the next thing I'm going to be doing is working on this side round here and putting the hair on the Joker. The sign writing on the front of the build, I have ordered the pieces for that. They have been dispatched, and according to DPD, they are in Ireland. So fingers crossed they will be with me this week, and I'll be able to get that done as well over the next week or so. But yeah, it's all looking good so far. And I've added some inverted slopes here around the eye sockets, and I will have it eventually so there are eyes in here that move possibly from side to side. However, at this moment in time, I don't have the pieces, and I'm not sure what pieces I'm going to need to do so. I've got a rough idea of how Technic Lego works. However, I'd like to get a little bit more experience before I start messing around with something like that on this build. But what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to start building up the hair around here, and I've got studs that I can work up to here. I'll then brick across there, but I'll also do some plating on the front as well, just so I can get as much texture and detail into that as possible. And there is the hair on top of the Joker, and relatively happy with how it's coming along. The green doesn't show up on camera as good as it looks in real life. It's a lot brighter in real life. It's a little bit square in places, so I do need to order in some different pieces so I can make it look that just a little bit nicer, I think. And also I need to find some parts to use for the eyes there. But what we can turn our attention to now are the support structures for the actual roller coaster itself. Not 100% sure how I'm going to go about doing so, where it's all going to be supported, but we'll work that out as we go along. And I finally got the support structure in place for the roller coaster. Now, this isn't the final look of there. It is going to look a little bit different once I've finished doing it. In places, I've just had to use the first plates I've come to, as I couldn't find any in the right colour. And up the top here, I want to tidy this section up. The Technic beam that's going through there that's acting as a support, that will be in brown as well. And I may lose the arches and do some wooden supports that you would expect to see on a roller coaster. I think that might look a little bit better. So I'm just going to work out what parts I need to use, and then I'll order all of those in. At the very bottom here, I'm probably going to use 2x2 bricks as opposed to the cylinder pieces. I just think it looks a little bit tidier as I've done over there. So yeah, lots of work still to be done on that, but at least I know now the heights everything needs to be at and what pieces I need to order in. But when I was doing the roller coaster, the amount of problems I had with these arches was comical at times. This one here, because the roller coaster wasn't supported, when I had it just resting there, I built that archway and it was too low, so I've had to raise it up by one brick. As soon as I put this all together, put the roller coaster going around, minifigure whacks his head. The archway just round here at the bottom, 1 minute the cart was hitting on the right hand side, so I moved the arch over, then it was hitting on the left hand side, and it was, yeah, I think it was about 3 or 4 attempts before I got that one exactly how it needed to be. But yeah, it's been a challenge, but always a fun one. I can't wait to get the pieces in to build some nutcrackers to go here and get the Joker Funhouse sign into the lime green. I think once all of those things are done, it's going to make such a difference to the build. Now, what I'm going to turn my attention to next is the roof section here. And what I've decided I'm going to do, I'm going to have the roof section, so there's a massive hole in the middle, and I'm just going to lay the glass panel in there using the snot technique. I think it's going to work out quite well doing it that way. Is if I need to get my hands inside, I can go through the back and the top, and I'll be able to work on the roller coaster and anything inside a lot easier. So let's take that roof apart and rebuild it using the new technique, and hopefully it's going to work out perfectly. And that's the roof all removed from the Joker Funhouse, and I've plated off this section just here so I can build a brick panel which will just lie flat on the studs there. That'll make it flush with the tiles along the edge. Now, what I'm intending on doing, using several of these glass panels within the roof section, and then that will allow plenty of natural light to shine down into the funhouse. But the good thing is, as I mentioned before, when these doors at the back here are open, I'll be able to get plenty of access in to work on the building itself. So that'll be what I'll be working on over the next week or so, along with the Joker Funhouse, providing those parts arrive. What I'm also going to do is have another look through my collection, as I'm sure the majority of the parts I need for doing this I will have somewhere, or one place or another. So yeah, it's just a case of sorting through more Lego. And I've actually managed to find the majority of the pieces I need for the roller coaster support. The only part I need to get in is the Technic beam that's going up there, or the axles should I say. So I just want to order in some of the cylinders that go around the axle in the brown, and also the connection joint just there. And if they do these pieces as well at the top and bottom in brown as well, then I'll order those. Then I have the wood effect all the way over. But I'm really happy with how this has come out. The support bits there, they're not really doing anything. They're just cosmetics. They're just on a hinge piece, so they're not connected on the top and bottom. But it is relatively strong. It would have been nice to put some axles through there, but they didn't really do much because the axle couldn't go into the squares at the bottom. But yeah, there it is. So the next thing I'll be working on is the roof section. So hopefully I'll be able to get to the Lego store, get some more of the glass pieces, and then we can start building that section up. But anyway, that's all we have time for. I hope you've enjoyed the update. If you have, please remember to give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content on the channel. And if you know anybody else you think would be interested in building Gotham, if you could share the channel with them, it'd be much appreciated. Anyway, thanks for popping on by, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.